If we're going to have brand new rockets with reusable technology settling 100,000 humans on Mars, then we're going to need a whole new wardrobe. For the first time in over a decade, American astronauts in 2020 boarded the SpaceX Dragon Crew spacecraft with brand new suits. But instead of the classic pumpkin orange suits, they were decked in an all-white SpaceX-branded spacesuit. The slimmer design that's more fitted and custom-made to each astronaut is easier to get in and out of in zero gravity. It's 40% lighter than the orange suit, and of course, way more stylish. In fact, Musk himself said he wanted to design a spacesuit that got kids fired up about space and made them want to become astronauts. Was this spacesuit approved by NASA? And how did the astronauts find the new wardrobe? Let's find out. The SpaceX spacesuit has actually been in design and development for years. If you think it looks awfully familiar, it might be because you've already seen the spacesuit tested before. A version of it flew to space on the Tesla driving dummy that SpaceX launched toward Mars in 2018. Another version of it was on the dummy Ripley, which flew on the uncrewed SpaceX Crew Dragon test flight in 2019. The original NASA spacesuit, built in 1974, cost somewhere between $15 and $22 million, which today is about $150 million. It's easy to see why they weren't rushing to create any new suits. After all, it's not exactly cheap. Instead of thinking of spacesuits as clothes, we should think of them as human-shaped spacecraft. It protects you from the vacuum of space, from radiation coming from the sun and other bodies, and against fast-traveling particles that are traveling up to 18,000 miles an hour. At that speed, any debris could penetrate the suit. This mini human-shaped craft provides oxygen, communications, telemetry, and everything else that you need to survive. And it's all rolled into one tiny spacecraft. But it's over 40 years old now, and the old suits have been overworked way past their 15-year life. Enter Elon Musk. The brand new SpaceX suit is a cool, all-white one-piece, and it's clearly much sleeker than those bulky orange suits. But does it do the job it's supposed to do? There are mainly three types of spacesuits, and they all exist for different purposes. The first one is the IVA, short for intravehicular activity. It's meant to only be worn inside the spacecraft, so it's lighter and more comfortable. The second is EVA, or extravehicular activity. And the third one, IEVA, combines both concepts. The EVA and IEVA are suits with more protection from the harsh conditions of space and are typically worn for spacewalks or planetary exploration. In addition to providing protection, suits must also provide a stable internal pressure, allow as much mobility and flexibility as possible, have temperature regulation, and have a communication system and waste disposal system. These are your primary functions. These can come in various types, from soft suits mostly made of fabric to hardshell suits made of metal. So where does SpaceX suits come in? Although the old suits were effective in keeping the wearer safe, they weren't exactly a fashion statement. We didn't even think about fashion until last year when SpaceX came out with its sleek design. It's all thanks to the Unlikely team, comprising of CEO Elon Musk, Hollywood costume designer Jose Fernandez, and of course, NASA. It's no surprise that Elon Musk looked to Hollywood for an opinion on the suits, given his love of theatrics. Of course, Jose Fernandez is the costume designer for iconic movies including Wonder Woman, Captain America, The Avengers, and more. But his past work on superhero costumes isn't the only thing that inspired the style of the SpaceX suits, but we'll get into that in just a minute. Now, it's worth mentioning that the SpaceX suits aren't meant for spacewalks, not yet anyway. The suit is designed to protect the astronaut inside the capsule and would provide limited protection in space. Elon Musk himself has clarified that his suits are meant for intravehicular use only. Wearing it on an actual spacewalk would make for excellent pictures on Instagram, but it would also expose you to temperatures ranging from 250 to minus 250 degrees Fahrenheit. But there's no denying that it's a functional piece of equipment. These futuristic suits were first worn on a mission by Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken, both former military pilots who rose to the rank of colonel before deciding they wanted to go higher and joining NASA in 2000. Their helmets were 3D printed, and these are much lighter, glossier, and silkier than any other made in the past. These were called bubble helmets because of their appearance. These helmets also contain valves, microphones of communication, and a retractable visor. During development, the focus was on ease of use. The suits have been designed to require little to no intervention from the astronauts, whether enabling a handy touchscreen-friendly glove or having the suit plugged into a seat that provides air and water through an umbilical. The suit also helps against potential depressurization, so in the event of the cabin getting depressurized, the suit can pressurize and provide food, water, and air to the astronaut. So it's not just form and no function. Elon Musk said, quote, "I personally spent a lot of time designing. It took us 3, almost 4 years to design these suits that both look good and work well. As well as keeping astronauts alive in an emergency, the SpaceX suits are flame-proof and designed to keep them cool using piped-in airflow. That said, it still has a few things to work out. For now, astronauts will still be using NASA's extravehicular mobility units for their spacewalks since they're designed to work for 8 to 10 hours in a complete vacuum environment and protect from radiation. The one-piece suit, of course, takes inspiration from Hollywood blockbuster superhero movies, but the black and white formal design has its own charm. It seems at the development stage, Elon Musk told Jose Fernandez, quote, "Anybody looks good in a tux, no matter what size or shape they are." And that's how we ended up with a suit that's less like a pumpkin and more like well-fitted evening attire. Of course, that's if you're spending your evening in the year 2040 or on Mars. Elon Musk found it key to balance aesthetics and function, so it's no wonder SpaceX took as much time as they did to create a good suit. We've seen spacesuits in movies before, and while they look good, they certainly won't help you last very long out in space. And while the pumpkin suits are incredibly functional, you don't necessarily want to use that to make a first impression if you encounter alien life. So how did Elon Musk and team pull it off? Well, the flanks of the new SpaceX suits have darker panels that give you a tapering effect, molding the torso into a more, dare we say, fetching form. Just like how a tux falls on your body makes all the difference to your cut and overall look. The classic comic book style boots, the squared off shoulders, and the sleek seam running from collar to knee all give it a stunning look, worthy of all the attention it got during the launch last year. So slim is the finished suit that Musk was forced to clarify that it's actually real and not a mock-up. He said, quote, "It definitely works. You can just jump in a vacuum chamber with it. It's fine." It seems Musk asked Fernandez to create the suit keeping only aesthetics in mind, and they later worked together to figure out its working. Since each suit is tailored to the specific measurements of each astronaut, it becomes more personal. SpaceX Suits and crew equipment manager Chris Trigg, who is also a former Disney Imagineer, agrees, saying, "It's not just a suit, it's a personal thing. It's Bob's suit. It's Doug's suit. But why did we need a stylish spacesuit? Well, it's not just an article of clothing. These suits are essentially our identity. It's a great way of expressing what we want to do, where we want to go, and creating something that screams our vision and ambition to explore space." Did you know that this suit was initially going to be military green? They settled on silver later because of its reflective properties and for its more futuristic look. In the age of space travel, looking the part is more important than ever. And it's not just Elon Musk seeking the help of Hollywood to make powerful statements. Even Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group, enlisted the help of Dwayne Johnson's Under Armour clothing brand to design a spacesuit for his Virgin Galactic space program. It all comes down to creating something that will inspire future generations to seek a career in space travel. The SpaceX suit is certainly a hit with kids. Astronaut Doug Hurley attested to that when he said, "The biggest testament is my 10-year-old son telling me how cool I am." What do you think about the new suit? Could it use a little more pizzazz? Tell us your thoughts in the comments.